Hello and welcome to the Prime Reckoning. I'm Julie and this is a channel for women over 50. Y'all, this getting old shit really sucks. All the things that I used to be able to do are becoming so difficult now. I went to a conference this last weekend, and in my defense, the conference goes from 9 a.m., which means I have to get up about 7:30ish to get ready and go down and get some breakfast to start my very long day, which didn't end until midnight every night. Um, so wonderful conference. I had an amazing time. Saw so many friends. Um, but damn, I got home on a Sunday. I got home on Sunday evening and I crashed for a 4-hour nap. I woke up for 2 hours and then I was back to sleep for another 8. And then the next morning I woke up still feeling tired, had to take another nap. So just recovering from those really long days that I just can't do anymore. I remember going to a conference as a 20-year-old and, doing all the activities, getting almost no sleep and sitting through boring ass lectures all day to get to the night activities, which is, where all the social stuff and all the networking really happens. So I can't do that anymore. Not a kid anymore. And then I was transferring the notes that I took into a different book when I got home. And y'all remember in school, I don't remember taking a lot of notes in high school, but college, I had to take a lot of notes. And we would be sitting in class writing out literally pages and pages of notes. Every day you'd write, like 20 pages of notes. And your hand would be fine. And now if I write 1 page of notes, my hand is just killing me. I have to stop and take a break, take a rest. So can't get away with any of that anymore. So anyway, let's move on to today's topic. I wanted to discuss this article about life after menopause, looking at some things that we need to keep an eye on as we move through and get a hold on. So this article was written by Haley Keene and medically reviewed by Dr. Perman, MD. So again, I'm not any kind of medical professional, but going through this article with you guys. So we're going to skip the first part of this. So menopause, the formal definition, menopause is confirmed to have happened only after 12 consecutive months without a menstrual period, and when no other medical reason explains the absence. Once that milestone is reached, menopause has officially occurred and postmenopause begins. On average, this happens around age 51 and lasts for the rest of life. So this is what happens to your hormones. As we, they're fairly steady up here, and then we start, but into perimenopause, which for some women, me included, begins in your 30s, and then they just kind of drop and remain low forever then. So a few things that we need to keep an eye on, because the years after menopause bring an increased risk, I can't talk today, of several chronic conditions. So let's talk about these. Protecting the bones, the fight against osteoporosis. Estrogen plays an important role in maintaining bone strength. After menopause, lower estrogen levels accelerate bone loss. On average, women may lose 10 to 20% of their bone density in the first few years of postmenopause. This raises the risk of osteoporosis and fractures, particularly in the spine, hips, and wrists. So, how to protect your bone health? Supplementation, taking calcium and vitamin D. Aim for about 1,200 milligrams of calcium and 800 to 1,000 IU of vitamin D per day from diet and supplements if needed. Strength training, like lifting weights and doing body weight exercises, squats, lunges, push ups, strengthens the bones and muscles. Weight bearing exercise, things like walking, hiking, or dancing, keeps bones resilient. And don't forget to get your DEXA scan. I've had one already. I'm in pretty good shape for my age, so hopefully we'll keep going down that route. But make sure you get your DEXA scan. This is often recommended around age 65 or earlier if risk factors are present. So next up is the heart. Before menopause, estrogen helps protect blood vessels and maintain healthy cholesterol levels. After menopause, this natural protection wanes. As a result, the risk of heart disease increases significantly and is the leading cause of death in women over 50. So get your blood pressure checked, and you can do it at home. There's lots of options for doing it at home. Keeping it under 120/80 when possible. Monitor your cholesterol. Get your exercise in that we mentioned about the bones. That also promotes your heart health. Diet, focus on vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, nuts, and omega-3 fatty acids. Limit processed foods and added sugars, and avoid smoking. So the brain, cognitive health, and well-being. Many women notice changes in concentration or memory during and after menopause, but we need to keep our long-term brain health in mind. So stay mentally active, read, do puzzles, learn new skills, or engaging in creative hobbies, which all challenge the brain. Again, exercise. You got to exercise to keep everything going. Sleeping well, and managing your stress. Number 2 is managing persistent postmenopausal symptoms. So we've already talked about all this. I'm going to kind of cruise over it, but vaginal dryness, discomfort during sex, urinary tract infections, urinary leakage, and changes in libido. Optimizing sleep and energy levels. Some strategies for better sleep. Limiting screen use before bed. Avoid heavy meals, sugar, caffeine, and alcohol at night. Creating a cool, dark, and quiet sleep environment. Aiming for a consistent bedtime and wake-up time. Routine is key for optimal sleep. And talking with your doctor if insomnia persists. So, thriving with a postmenopausal lifestyle. Postmenopause is not just about managing risks, it's about thriving. Lifestyle choices in this stage can make a remarkable difference in how women feel day to day and how healthy they remain in the decades ahead. Nutrition is very important postmenopause. It directly supports bone, heart, and brain health. Vitamin supplements can also play a key role in addressing health concerns during postmenopause, particularly those related to bone and cardiovascular health. Below are several commonly recommended options. So a multivitamin, and there are tons of multivitamins out there for specifically women over 50. So you can choose one, maybe with the help of your doctor. Vitamin D aids hormonal health and energy metabolism, helping manage menopause-related concerns. You can get vitamin B from whole grains, eggs, legumes, and leafy greens. Calcium and vitamin D, which we already mentioned. You can get those from dairy products, fortified foods, leafy greens, and supplements. Magnesium promotes muscle and nerve function and works with calcium to support bone health. You can get that from nuts, seeds, legumes, and whole grains. Protein preserves muscle mass and supports tissue repair. You can get your protein from your lean meats, fish, beans, tofu, eggs, whey. Omega-3s support heart health and help reduce inflammation. You get those from fatty fish like salmon or sardines, flax seeds, and walnuts. Fiber improves digestion and supports heart health. You can get fiber from whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and legumes. Isoflavones mimic some estrogen effects and may ease mild vasomotor symptoms. These are found in soy, chickpeas, lentils, and flaxseed. Probiotics maintain gut and vaginal microbe balance for digestion and urogenital health. You can get these from yogurt, kefir, I don't know if I said that right, sauerkraut, and kimchi. Hydration supports energy, digestion, and bladder health. Get your hydration from water, herbal teas, and water-rich fruits and vegetables. So make sure to check with your doctor before you start any supplements, and make sure they're not interfering with any of the pharmaceuticals you're taking as well, because sometimes they do. The best exercise for postmenopause: strength training helps build muscle and increase bone density. Balance training like yoga, tai chi, or simple balance drills can help prevent falls. And aerobic activity like walking, swimming, biking, or dancing supports your heart health. We've talked about HRT, so we're not going to get into that in depth in this video. So this is a postmenopausal health checklist for key screenings and focus areas. So the DEXA scan, as I mentioned earlier, mammogram screens for breast cancer, blood pressure and cholesterol tests, blood sugar or fasting glucose screens for diabetes, pelvic exam and pap test if indicated to monitor your gynecologic health, and your colonoscopy screens for cancer. Your first one usually get it at 45 to 50. I've had 2 or 3 already at 56. Although I didn't have to I didn't have to go in for my last one. They give you this plastic container and you poop in that and mail it in, and that was much easier. But that's if you're low risk and your previous colonoscopies have come back clear. So, and you don't have to do that nasty prep. But if you got to do it, you got to do it. So postmenopause is not only about managing symptoms. Many women report a renewed sense of freedom and self-discovery during this stage of life. We can only hope so. Children, if you have any, may be grown, hopefully. Careers more established, retirement on the horizon, and personal priorities shifting toward enjoyment and well-being. Thriving after menopause starts with proactive care. Women's health at this stage is not about decline. It's about making the right decisions that support vitality for decades ahead. So schedule regular checkups and screenings. Talk with a physician about bone density, heart health, and hormone therapy. And build a lifestyle around nutrition, exercise, and mental well-being. So that is it for that article. So our badass woman of the week is Stephanie Louise, I'm probably going to butcher this name, Kwolek. We're going to go with that. She was born in 1923, and she was a Polish-American chemist. So she was offered a position with DuPont, and as a chemical company, DuPont was trying to find a petroleum-based polymer fiber that would be lighter and harder wearing than steel in radial tires. The firm had vacancies given that many men had been overseas fighting in World War II. DuPont had introduced nylon shortly before the war, and that business boomed and blossomed into several textile applications. Although Kolek intended to work for DuPont temporarily in order to raise money for further study, the polymer research she worked on was so interesting and challenging that she decided to drop her plans for medical school and make chemistry a lifetime career. In 1964, in anticipation of a gasoline shortage, Kolek's group began searching for a lightweight yet strong fiber to replace the steel used in tires. The polymer she had been working with formed liquid crystal while in solution that at the time had to be melt spun at over 392 degrees Fahrenheit, which produced weaker and less stiff fibers. A unique technique in her new projects and the melt condensation polymerization process was to reduce those temperatures to between the range of 32 and 104 degrees Fahrenheit. She prepared the solution, and the cloudy solution was usually thrown away. Kolek was denied the use of the spinneret for her solution because it was thought that the solution would clog the machine. However, Kolek persuaded technician Charles Smolin, who ran the spinneret, to test her solution. She was amazed to find that the new fiber would not break when nylon typically would. Not only was it stronger than nylon, this new solution was 5 times stronger than steel by weight. Both her supervisor and the laboratory director understood the significance of her discovery, and a new field of polymer chemistry quickly arose. So, what this turned out to be was Kevlar. By 1971, modern Kevlar was introduced. Kolek learned that the fibers could be made even stronger by heat treating them. The polymer molecules are highly oriented, which gives Kevlar its extraordinary strength. Kolek continued research of thermotropic Kevlar derivatives containing aliphatic and chlorine groups. So we all know that Kevlar is an incredibly important invention, saves the lives of many police officers and soldiers. So that is our badass woman of the week. Truly a badass woman. The men said, no, we're not going to test your stuff. It's crap. It's not going to work. And she pushed and pushed to get it tested, and Kevlar is the result. So an amazing woman in our history. So that is everything for today. If you take a moment, please like and subscribe. It helps my growing channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you will be notified every time a new video drops. I post new videos every week. Also, follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Those links are posted below. Thanks for watching today, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.